No, this is my video to demonstrate taking some trades on the simulator. I have started this and I started zoning. In the 4 hour, I absolutely have nothing below where current price is. So I'm going to hit the simulator and I'm going to run this quite a bit to kind of get us some data below so that I can get some additional zones in here because as it stands now, I don't have any. And price was moving. So we got a little bit more on here now. So I'm going to pause and put some more zones in here, and then we'll come back and try to take some trades from that point. Yes. Just slow things down a bit. Okay, I have added some additional zones here, and I'm going to go ahead and start the simulator up and see. I'm going to change this to 15-minute candles. Let's do next bar, see what we get. Don't see anything yet that would make me want to look for a trade. I am in the 4 hour, quite a ways away from the zone. I'm going to change this to 4 hour candle so we can see what the next 4 hours doing. Okay, my next 4 hour now has hit the key line. So I'm at a 4 hour candle. Let's see what the sessions are. Middle of London, start of London practically. So I'm in the 4 hour. I have seen this candle come down to the 4 hour key line. It is rejecting off the key line. This absolutely could be a break possibly as well. So I'm going to jump down to the 30-minute because I do see it interacting with the key line. I'm going to jump to the 30-minute and I'm going to look for some sort of pattern and see if I see a rejection or something that will support or give me a pattern to take a trade in the 30-minute. So what I'm going to do is change this to 15 minutes. Let's get into the right time zone. We're in 8 o'clock. Let's go ahead and do next bar and see if I see a pattern. And again, it is reacting off the key line. Let me bring this up a little bigger so you guys can see it. So I do think it's hitting the key line. I'm going to go next bar. And what I see is that's really not a pattern yet for me. So I'm going to next bar it again. And what I see looks like it could be a bearish railroad, which means that it would be rejecting and possibly going back up. I jump back to my 4 hour to confirm what I'm seeing here. And I see this candle hitting the key line. Again, if it's not a continuation, it's going to reject off this key line and simply going back up. So I'm going to jump back to the 30-minute. I'm seeing what I think is this particular bearish railroad, which doesn't look like it's going to reject to me. So I'm going to go one more 30-minute. And now I'm seeing my pattern, which is giving me an up pattern. I'm going to go ahead and put a trade in because I do think that this is rejecting off of the 4 hour here. So let me go to the 30-minute and theoretically it would be going all the way back up here to this 4 hour zone because I do not see. Let me double check my zones here. Actually, there is a zone in the middle there. Let me drop that in there real quick because that's where it's going to go. Do this real quick. Let me clone this and I will go ahead and put a rectangle around the box. The wick is very small, but again, I'm going to take that as a zone. Okay, so let's go back over to my 30-minute, and that is where I think it's going to go back to. Let's go back here. It did not clone. Let's just go back to the 30-minute. And I do believe it's there now. So let's go ahead. I'm going to put in a pending order here. I'm going to put in a buy stop. And I'm gonna bring this down. Reopen up my trade window so I can modify it. Let's go modify. Let's bring that down to about right there, right above that wick, sort of pick it up. Gonna go ahead and do accept. My stop loss is gonna be below that wick. So let's go ahead and do stop loss here. Visual. Let's make that stop loss to be right below that. I'm gonna bring it down a little bit more just to give me some room here. I'll say accept, and let's do a take profit. Let's take it up to that key line. It's a little bit before it. Let's give it a moment. That's good. I'm gonna say accept, and let's do this. Let's roll the beautiful bean footage and see what we get. And we're going to next bar, 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 next bar. Okay, that did not do what I thought it was going to do. So chances are it was not a rejection, that it was a break, and that this was a retest, and I didn't pay attention to the retest, that it did retest, go back and come back down. So that's why I assume I lost that trade. So that was a bad example. But I do think it was probably a break and not actually a rejection. So let's go ahead and jump back over to the 4 hour. And let's go ahead now. I've come down to this key line. See what time I'm in. I'm in 12:30. Let's go ahead and advance it a couple. Let's go ahead and just run it a little bit and see what it does. So it is rejecting off of that key line now. Actually, it's continuing to go. And I do think this is going to reject. Okay, let's see what it's doing here. Slow it down just a tad. So now it actually does look like it's going to reject off of that key line. Let's see if it gets to 1 o'clock. We want to see what the next 4 hour candle is going to show up. I'm going to keep next bar until this candle closes. Okay, now that is the start of my next 4 hour, and that is absolutely a rejection off of this key line here. So now I am looking for this pattern to go back up because it is rejecting off of this key line right now. So now let me jump to the 30-minute. And I'm going to advance it for the 30-minute candle to close. I am looking for a pattern that's going to give me something here in the 30-minute. So I am seeing now this is the close. That's the close of the 30-minute. Again, I still don't see my pattern yet. Let me jump to the 1 hour. Let's make this a little bigger. And that's still not a pattern for me. So let's go back to the 30-minute. That's the next 30-minute candle. And now I do see, I'm going to take that as a morning star. It's a small, I'm going to take it as a morning star. So I'm going to put a pending order to take me back up here to this particular key line. So I'm going to put a buy stop in here. I'm going to bring this down. No, trades. I'm going to modify. And I'm going to bring this down to right above where that candle is going to open. I do believe this is going to do it. I'm going to do accept there. Let's do a stop loss of, my stop loss is going to be below. I'm going to actually take it down here well into past the key line to the end of the zone. Let's do a TP up here. And let's take that TP up to the key line. Let's do accept. And let's roll that beautiful bean footage. Moving. All right, there's a successful trade. So I did get one. So that was exactly what I thought it was. It was a rejection off of the 4-hour key line. So that's a good one. So that's two. So let's see what else we can get here. Let's move some of this stuff out of the way. And let me jump back over to the 4-hour. Give ourselves some room here. That's that. So let's do next bar. Next bar. Get back into my time period. Let's see what sessions we're in. Things are going to start to slow down probably. So we're going back up. So the next bar is taking us back up. We're going back up. And let's see where the next 4-hour closes. Again, I don't want to touch anything unless it's coming off of the 4-hour key line. I'm going to next bar, next bar, next bar. I want to see a rejection from the key line. That is the only thing I am trying to touch. As I see, I'm wicking up to my key line now. Let's do one more bar. That took us down. I want to see the start. Now that's hitting the key line. So I'm going to actually be looking for a rejection off of this key line. It is the first touch back to that key line. I'm looking for a rejection to take us back down to the previous key line. So I'm going to drop down to the 30-minute. So that way. So now I see it totally reacting to the key line here. This is a good look for me. So what I want to do here is I'm going to just next bar this. I want to see if it gives me a pattern to take. I should be getting a rejection. So let's see what the 30-minute is going to give me. There's my railroad in the 30-minute. It's not doing what I thought it would do, but I'm going to take, this is a railroad in the 30-minute. Let's go to the 4-hour. And it's showing a 4-hour is showing a bullish direction. I don't think I should take this trade. I'm going to do one more bar. If this gives me a bearish pattern, then I will take it. I don't think this is going to be what I want though. Let's go back over here. Let's do one more bar. Yeah, this is going to go back up. I'm going to be waiting for this to give me a pattern going up because I am seeing a 4-hour, I'm seeing the bullish in the 4 hours. So I'm not going to trust this to be bearish for me. Let's give it another one. It actually is doing exactly what I said it would do. So I missed the trade. I should have trusted that that was actually going to go and reject for me. So now if I next bar it, it's going to go through. So I actually did miss that trade. So let's jump back over to the 4-hour and let's see what else we can come up with. So now I see it coming back, reacting back down to this key line. Are we on the 4-hour here? Let's see what our time is. Okay, so it is closing below that key line. This next bar one more time. Let's get to the top of the hour. So it opened below the key line. So again, I am looking for that rejection. I'm still looking for that rejection to go down. Now in this 4-hour, I'm seeing it could be a railroad setting up, but I'm looking for this rejection. So let's go back to the 30-minute. Let me take a look and see what's over here. I'm going to go next bar, next bar. I do not see my pattern. Next bar. This just absolutely isn't doing what I would expect it to do. So I'm going to keep running it and see when I get my pattern. I am seeing a railroad, but it is not off the key line, so I will not take that. Now that is a bullish railroad. I'm going to take that up because at the very least I want it to go up either to a 30-minute or to the next 4 hours because it is coming off a 4 hour key line. It's not totally hitting it. Let's look and see what the direction is. And it is a bullish direction in the 4 hour. I'm going to take this up and see if we can get a trade off of this, a buy. And let me pull this here. Okay, I think I got two orders. Let's do. All right, so let's bring that down and see if we can catch this going. Let's do a stop loss of, it's gonna be big. Stop loss is gonna be, I'm gonna take it behind. Very big. Let's do a TP. Let's just take the TP. Let's see how far up it's gonna go. Theoretically, it would go there. I do believe I may have a zone in the middle. Let me double check. No, I don't. So let's go back over here. Let's see if we can get this to go. Let's go. Hey, I have a successful trade. Um, that was interesting. I really originally thought it was a rejection, but the pattern eventually gave me the railroad, so I just rolled with it. So that was successful. Let's see if we can get one more, at least something more. I'm jumping back over to the 4 hour here. Let's get myself to the end here. So again, let's clear the history off. So make this a little clearer. So now we're reacting again off of another key line. It has wicked up to that key line. Let's look at the time zone here. Let's go ahead and get me to a solid hour. And it's getting close to New York time, so it probably will pick up. So I'm going to wick up here. So now I am interacting with the key line once again. So again, my theory is it should be rejecting, but this could also be a break. I'm thinking it's going to reject off of this. So let's jump down to, actually, this is not the close of the 4 hour. If I back up, let me make sure it's breaking. So this is definitely a break candle, which I'm not going to mess with. So I'm going to keep going and let this react off the key line again for me. Once I see it hit the key line, so now it's coming back down, last 15 minutes. So this is the next 4 hour candle that's opening. I believe this is going to continue up to the next zone. This is a break, but I will be looking for a retest, I believe, in the 30-minute. I do not feel comfortable with that, so I'm just going to next bar it. Let's go to the 30-minute. Let me take a quick look and see we're in the 15-minute time here. Let's see. I'll next bar it. Next bar it. And this probably is a break, but it's not something that I would take because I just don't know how to manipulate a break. So I'm just going to next bar. And now I'm up at the key line at the 4 hour. Let's do run it and see what it's gonna do. So now it's coming back below my key line. I'm gonna pause this. I'm gonna take a look. It is closing, I believe. So if I do this, let me back up. I really want to see where this bar close, where the next one opens. Okay, so my next 4 hour is opening below the key line. If I do the next 4 hour, again, we're getting into some very bad time. So I'm going to just put this back on. I'm going to get us through this because it's going to be some consolidation period. Things are going to get slow. So let me get us out of this period. So now we're back into the new day. Let's do another. So now it's coming back down to the key line at the start of the hour. So let's take a look. I'm thinking I should see a rejection here and it's coming back down. So let's take a look at a 30-minute. Let's drop down to the 30-minute and see what I can find. So it is coming back down, reacting with the key line. Let's do the next 30-minute. And I see it actually looks like it rejected off the key line. Let me jump back to the 4 hour. The 4 hour has me wicking above the key line. So I'm going to assume this is going to continue to go up. So I'm going to do one more 30-minute to get a pattern. I do see now a morning star happening here. So at the close of the 30-minute, I have a morning star, and in the 4 hour, I also have a bullish pattern in the 4 hour. So I'm going to jump here, jump back down. That zone is huge, but I'm going to assume that this, because I have my morning star pattern, that I am going to be going up. So I'm going to put a pending order in here as a buy stop. I'm going to let me modify this order and bring it down to right where I think it's going to pick up. I'm going to accept it. Let's do a stop loss of below that wick. I'm going to come down just to give myself a little bit. That's a lot of pips, but I'm going to come down just to give myself some room. I'm going to accept it. Let's go and do the take profit, which is going to be all the way up here because I do not see a zone in between. I'm going to put that there. I'm going to accept it. And let's go ahead and roll this to see what we get. I just want to see if I can get us up there. And we're in some pretty late times here. So I don't know if this is going to do. This does not look like it's heading back that way. Let's get over here. Let's get ourselves on. It's playing around that key line. It's taking a long time to do this, like days. But now it's at my TV. It's at, no, it's not. It's still not going. Well, I don't know if I would even stay in a trade like this. This is days. But as you see, it hasn't hit my TP yet. And of course, it hasn't hit my stop loss yet. But it has. So again, wrong direction, wrong trade. Let's keep trying. Let's see what else we can find here. Let's get back into the 4 hour. And let's get it started. Let me stop this because I probably need to put some new zones in. I did. Let's drop the zone here. That was probably my issue that I didn't update zones, possibly. So let's clone that. Let's give it a zone box. And I'm gonna take some of these other ones off. I'm gonna take that one off. This one. Let me bring my top here. Okay, now the clone up there. It's probably a zone in the middle here. I do think this is probably, look at my picture. It's probably a zone. So let's go back and clear the zone here. I do think it's in. Okay, so let's clone that. We got a couple in there. So let's go ahead and start this back up. Let me see, where am I here? Okay, so we are once again interacting off a key line. So once it hits that key line, let's do a quick pause here. And go back to the time zone. Next bar. So it's wicking off. Let's do next bar, next 30 minute. And it is interacting with the key line. Let's get out of this time. Okay, so now it wicked back up to the key line. So the minute it hits the key line, I should be looking at a possible rejection. And that is the first time back. So let's take a look at the 30 minute to see what we got over here. And I'm just going to roll it normal, see if it's interacting with the key line. If it does not interact with the key line, I will not touch it. Okay, so it did interact with the key line. I have a bullish railroad here. My next candle has opened bullish also. I'm going to, this is a very short order. I'm not taking it, it's just too short. So the pattern is going to possibly change, but it's just too tight for me. So it is going past that key line. So the fact that it went past the key line, I'm going to wait. I'm going to let this 30 minute, the next 30 minute close and confirm a pattern that is still going up. I'm going to put in a pending order here because it passed through there and it still appears to be going up because it is my bearish railroad. So let's put my pending in. Again, this is very short. 6 little pips. Stop loss is going to be, stop loss is going to be here. Stop loss is going to be below that wick, almost to there. And my TP is going to be here. Although I do think it's going to cross over and I'll probably put another one. So let's just see what it does. Next part, next part. Okay, so it hit something here. So I do believe it hit my TP and then it rejected. So where is my, what happened to my, let's go to history. And it was short, but yes, it did get it. So it absolutely did get my, it went up, hit my TP and came down. So that was successful. Let's see if we can take another. I am now in what time frame? Okay, let's jump back to the 4 hour. Let's go over here. Let's next bar, next bar, next bar, next bar, next bar. I want to get out of this area and I want to get myself, there's the next 4-hour opening. It has broke that candle. So this would be going up to the next 4-hour zone. I would think that it's going to the next 4-hour. Let me look at the, let's take one more candle here. Let me jump to the 30-minute and see what's going on in the 30-minute. 30-minute, I see my pattern going up. And I'm actually going to pause this. It's not on the key line. Let me go and look and see if I want to do this. I should not take a trade in the middle of the key line, but I absolutely do think this is going to continue to go up to the 4-hour key line. I'm going to take a chance and actually put a trade in here because in the 30-minute, I have seen my railroad close. I do believe it's going to go up. I don't have a zone in the middle of here. My next 4-hour actually could be here or here. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to put this in and I'm going to theoretically think it's going up to this 4-hour. So I'm going to jump back to the 30 minutes. I'm going to put a buy stop in here. And we're going to go and we're going to modify this one. And let's bring this down here. We're going to accept this. Let's do a stop loss, which becomes stop loss will be down here. So that's part of the structure. And let's do a TP all the way up here. Chances are there's something in the middle that's going to bump me. That is very, very, very big. I would probably be watching this. And look at the time period. So let's go back to the 4 hours and make sure that I haven't missed the zone in here anywhere. It's very large. Nope, I don't see it. So let's go ahead and roll this and let's see what we get. I'm going to jump back to the 30 and next one, next one, next one. Oh, I got it. That is so beautiful. That actually works. Beautiful. All right, cool beans, guys. Let's do one more. Let's see if I can actually come out of this bad boy with 4 of them. So let's keep rocking and rolling here. And we're going up into no man's land here where I don't have any freaking zones. So let's do this. Let me, in an effort of saving time, I'm going to pause for a moment here so I can zone up just a tad, and I'll be right back. Okay, guys, I'm back. Have to find a zone pretty far away, but it's super big from that point. It's a super big gap from that point. So let's do one more. We're in a 12:30 time frame, so we'll do one more to see what we get here. So that's an hour. Let's just roll this a little bit. So that's the next 4-hour candle. Let me back up a little bit. So actually it rejected and came back through the zone, and the next 4-hour candle is opening here. So the fact that it rejected and came back through the candle, through that key line, let me jump over to the 30-minute. Actually, I'm in the 30 minutes, so let me jump to the 4 hours. That's probably why I was having so much trouble finding it. So, actually, no, it wasn't, because there truly is not a zone up there. It's very, 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 very hard. Yeah, there absolutely is nothing there. So let's roll this again and just to see what I can get out of this. So what is our time zone? That's our time. I'm going to pause it and export it. So we're coming back down to this key line here. It's possibly another zone that is coming there. Let me put this on 15 minutes. Export it. So it is rejecting off of something now. So now it's at the key line. So at this point, let me do one more. Now it's hit the key line. So at this point, if I back up at the start of the hour, if I next zone, perfect. So now that's where it's hitting the key line. At this point, it's hitting the 4-hour key line. It is a first time touch to this key line. It is going to reject. So let's go back to the 30-minute. Let's see what's happening on the 30-minute. As you see, it is on the key line also on the 30-minute. This is a perfect setup. So what I'm going to do is let's take it up a 30-minute candle. So 30-minute candle shows me it's not my pattern just yet, but it could be either doing a morning star possibly for me, or it could be doing a railroad. So let's next bar it and see what we get here. So now I'm starting to see a morning star pattern fall. I'm starting. So I'm going to go with the theory that yes, this is going to actually reject because that was a first time touch. And let's go ahead and put a pending order in. I'm going to put a buy stop in here. Let's modify my order, bring this down to right where my candle would be opening, because theoretically I say that's that's a morning star. It's happening. I'm going to roll with that. So let's click accept there. Let's do a stop loss of where do my stop loss want to be? It's going to be down here. I'm going to be very conservative and bring it very far down past that wick, actually almost down there. I'm going to accept that. And let's go ahead and do a TP. TP is going to be all the way up here. So I'm going to accept this. And before I accept it, I'm going to go back to my 4-hour just to make sure I have not missed any missing zones in the middle. I'm even going to go back to my line chart. I think I'm good. I'm going to take this back up. So let's jump back to the 30. Let's roll this beautiful beam footage and see what we get here. Let's do it, do it, do it. Do what I say do what I say do what I say do what I say do. Come on, man. Give me some more. We're getting close. Now it's slowed down. So the time frame is slowed down. Chances are if I got in the middle of this, I would have taken my money before it got to that TP, because it's coming back down now and it's not going to hit. It's going to hit. See what this is going to do. Let's just keep going. Let's just keep it going. Let's see. This is taking way too long. I would have gotten out of this trade long before I let it go that far. So it didn't work out well. But again, I got a few in here. So hopefully this is a little bit of a representation. I'll keep at it and maybe, hopefully get a little better. So thank you guys for your time.